video. So we now have the Blu-ray version of the jailbreak for the PS5 that has now been released from a new developer to the scene, I believe, which is Jamie_Cyber. So I'll leave links down in the video description. So this, of course, is the Poops kernel exploit that can now be loaded using a Blu-ray disc up to the latest firmware's 12.0. However, of course, the Blu-ray jailbreak was actually patched in firmware 8.0. So firmwares above 7.61, 8.0 up to 12.0, they will need to use another jailbreak to unpatch the Blu-ray jailbreak so that you can then use a Blu-ray disc to jailbreak your PS5 the next time you want to load the jailbreak. And we can do that using the BDJ unpatch payload from the BD Jailbreak project, which I'll also leave linked down in the video description. So this is the original project by the main developer. However, there is already an autoloader available from PS3120, so you can download that version instead, which will automatically load the kernel exploit when you load the Blu-ray disc so that you don't have to send the payload separately. So it makes it a little bit more convenient, so you can go ahead and download that version, but I'll leave both of them down in the video description. So we need to grab ourselves a blank or rewritable Blu-ray disc and insert it into our Blu-ray burner, and then simply open up software like Image Burn, which I'll leave in the description. Select the option to write image file to disk, and then you can drag and drop the ISO into Image Burn, or click the little folder icon with a magnifying glass to browse for the file manually. And then once you have that inserted, you can go ahead and click the button to write the image file to the disk, and then wait for that to complete. And once that's done, you can then eject that disk and insert it into the PS5. Now you'll notice that if we try to immediately load this disk without unpatching the Blu-ray exploit first, then what will happen is you'll either just get a black screen, or you'll get this text that pops up saying it failed to escape the sandbox, which means the Blu-ray exploit is not running, it's not available because it's not been unpatched. So we need to use our previous jailbreak, a different jailbreak of some kind, just to load the jailbreak once, so we can then unpatch this Blu-ray jailbreak. Because I'm on a firmware above 7.61, I'm on 12.0, I'll need to use my existing jailbreak to do this. So first of all, we need to make sure we have a network connection on the console. So if we head to System, System Software, Console Information, make sure you have a valid IPv4 address so that your console is connected to your network. If it's not, you can head over to your network settings, head to settings, set up an internet connection, press the options button on your registered network, go to advanced settings, and then of course add a DNS server, set it to manual, and set the primary DNS to 127.0.0.1 or 127.0.0.2 to block connections to PlayStation servers so that you do not get a system update when you are connecting to the internet. Because we're basically just wanting local network access so that we can send the correct payload. So now what we need to do is run our existing jailbreak. So in my case, I'm using Star Wars Racer Revenge with the Lua Core exploit just because I'm on 12.0, because this is the only jailbreak I can use right now that actually works up to 12.0. But obviously, if you're doing this on a firmware like 10.01 or below, you can use the YouTube jailbreak, or you can use the Netflix in hack to jailbreak your console initially so that you can unpatch the Blu-ray jailbreak. So in my case with this jailbreak, I'm going to go ahead and simply press the start button, head over to the options section here, and then select the Hall of Fame option, and that initiates this jailbreak. So USA version detected, master core initialized, and there it goes. It starts running the kernel exploit. And we just want to get it to the point where it runs the elf loader, which is that there, elf loader serving on the PS5's IP address on port 9021. So that's all we want there. So now that we have the elf loader running, we can now send additional payloads to the console. So on the computer, I'm going to run netcat GUI, or some payload injector that we can use to send payloads. And then we're going to grab the BD unpatch payload from the BD Jailbreak project and drag that into the application. Enter the PS5's IP address in the host box and the port number 9021, and click Inject Payload. We'll get a message that pops up here saying BDJ stack has been successfully unpatched. So that is what we want to see there. And once that is done, we should be good to run the Blu-ray jailbreak from now on. So now I will eject the Star Wars disc and insert my Blu-ray disc again, and we will try to jailbreak using this. Now I'm already jailbroken right now because I used my previous jailbreak initially. So I need to restart my console, so I'm no longer running the jailbreak. And from now on, I should be able to use this Blu-ray disc to jailbreak my console instead of having to use the Star Wars Racer Revenge game on my 12.0 system. So yeah, let's go ahead and just wait for this to restart. Okay, so I've rebooted my PS5. You can see we're not running the debug settings here. And also I am, of course, on 12.0, as you can see, the latest jailbreakable firmware. But I'm not going to jailbreak using Star Wars Racer Revenge now. But in this case, we want to load it using our Blu-ray disc. So BD Jailbreak Poops for the Poops kernel exploit. So we're going to go ahead and load this up. And hopefully, now that we've unpatched the BDJ stack, it should successfully run the exploit. And there we go. Poops PS5 payload started. And there it is. Wow, that was actually pretty fast. So kernel exploit successfully succeeded. All stages completed successfully. We got the elf loader running. Now, of course, it will not always work the first time. So if you load it and it gets stuck at a particular point for a long time, then it's probably failed. And you'll just have to restart the PS5 and try again until it works. Or if the PS5 just randomly shuts off, then that also means it's failed. So you'll have to restart and try again. And it also says there, made by Jamie_Cyber on Twitter. You can now safely close the application, so we can go ahead and close the disk player. Again, disk player takes a little while to close because it has to toggle HDCP, so it takes a bit longer to close than normal applications, but there we go, it is now closed, and we are now running the jailbreak. If we go to settings, you can see we have the debug settings enabled, so the jailbreak is now running. And the elf loader is running in the background, which means I can send additional payloads to load on my PS5. So for instance, if I switch back over here, I can send other payloads. So I'll drag Kstuff in and change the port number to 9021. There we go. Kstuff is now loaded successfully. And we should be good here. So let's go ahead and try and run one of my PS4 fake packages. We are doomed. So this would not normally run, of course, without Kstuff, but Kstuff is running. And we are up and running with the jailbreak, just like that. So I'll also send over the PS5 web server payload and see if I can use that to load a PlayStation 5 game backup. So I'll use the homebrew launcher here and try and load a game backup like Dead Space. And that is going to launch it on the console there. And yep, there we go. The game is loading up as well. So yeah, that is it. We've got our PS4 fake packages and our PlayStation 5 game dumps running. And we jailbroke entirely through the Blu-ray disc without using Star Wars Racer Revenge. Obviously, we had to use a previous jailbreak like Star Wars Racer Revenge to unlock the Blu-ray jailbreak in the first place. But this is why we might start seeing like Blu-ray unlocking services where people use their Star Wars Racer Revenge copies to, you know, unlock people's PS5s to use the Blu-ray exploit so that they can jailbreak with a Blu-ray disc. We might start to see that at some point in the future. But yeah, there we go. We've got our PS5 game dump running here as well. Now, a few things to consider here. If you reset your console, factory reset it in safe mode, for example, that will patch the BDJ stack again, which will prevent you from using the Blu-ray jailbreak. And the same thing, if you update your firmware to a higher version, that will also patch the Blu-ray jailbreak again, and you'll have to unpatch it using an existing jailbreak on that firmware. So that's the downside to this at the moment, is that you have to at least be able to run some other jailbreak on your console once to be able to unpatch the Blu-ray jailbreak, and then you'll be able to use the Blu-ray to jailbreak in the future. It is faster than jailbreaking with the Star Wars Racer Revenge game, so it's definitely an improvement to use this jailbreak instead. And this will get streamlined even further to include the ability to auto-close the application and automatically load certain payloads with an auto-loader. So we can expect to see all of that stuff coming fairly soon. But anyway, I will have a more beginner-friendly guide coming once things have been improved. But that's going to do it for this one, so hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and as always, I'll hopefully see you